Hello everybody, it's me, your good friend Sparky, and welcome back to Pikmin on Gamecube and the Challenge Mode. The Challenge Mode is an extra gameplay mode in the first Pikmin game where the goal is simple. How many Pikmin can you grow in a day? Since we managed to finish the first Pikmin in a relatively quick time, I figured also taking on Challenge Mode and challenging ourselves would be a great way to cap off the series. We can go to each of the different maps, the Impact Site, the Forest of Hope, the Forest Navel, the Distant Spring, and the Final Trial, but their setups are going to be a little different with new enemies and new things to get, and we're going to get started right now. Going to the Impact Site and seeing if we can get a high score. The goal of this isn't necessarily to actually get the high score per se, but more or less just to get on the high score list. As it so happens though, my high scores in Pikmin on GameCube are not very good. And that's because, as I've said before, I did not own this game for a very long time. So I didn't really have the opportunity to set awesome high scores in Pikmin 1 on GameCube. The Wii version of Pikmin, that's a completely different story, but we will definitely get to that. And yeah, Challenge Mode is just relatively simple in concept. There's not a lot complicated going on here. We are just trying to grow as many Pikmin as we possibly can. And all of the maps have been sort of remixed, and they have new items and new locations and new enemies wandering about, like the potato bug that we just saw there. He wasn't here before. And it's just all about strategy and all about trying to figure out the best way to do things. The maps are always the same every time you go there, so it's easy enough to sort of figure out what's going on and plan accordingly. And man, the Pikmin in the GameCube version of Pikmin are really obnoxious in close quarters, where they just refuse to not do things when you don't want them to. Thankfully, in the Wii version, they are a little less compulsive like that. But, yeah, we're just growing as many Pikmin as we can, and we're just trying to strategize things out and trying to, get the right color pellets to the right onions. That's really important in Challenge Mode, actually. And it's also important to try and get a feel of the map and find out where the really big ticket items are. The 5 pellets, the 10 pellets, the 20 pellets, things like that. Because if you spend too much time focusing on the really small stuff, it can prevent you from getting some bigger items. Remember, we are on a time limit. This is as many Pikmin as we can grow in a day. So it's really just all about strategy and just trying to figure out the best way to do things. And also, this part, I hate these 10 pellets. I really do. Because Olimar's reach can barely throw Pikmin up onto this ledge. And it's just annoying. It's really annoying as the Pikmin start to slide down the stump. And it's just generally not a good time trying to figure this out. There are also going to be other hazards lying around that were not in these maps previously. For example, we could see off in the distance there, there's some fire jets now that weren't here before. So we do need to pay attention to that. And there are still going to be things like bomb rocks we need to use, and things like all the water hazards lying around, so It's also, challenge mode is a lot about strategizing using all 3 types of Pikmin to your advantage and using them in the appropriate situations. There's not too much more complicated than that. The impact site itself is fairly simple, fairly standard. It doesn't hit you with too many surprises right off the bat. Of all the maps, this one is probably the most similar to its story counterpart. Again, there's no ship parts or anything like that. It's just all about beating enemies and finding pellets and getting them all back to camp, all lickety-split quick as possible. And the impact site doesn't really mix things up too much in that sense. Aside from the fire jets, aside from the potato bug, there's just really a lot of pellets. Like, a lot of pellets around this map that we need to try and find. And, of course, bombs. Bombs are very useful. As there is this bomb rock gate back up here. And another important thing to mention is that the bomb rock gates in challenge mode, and gates in general, they tend to go down quicker, from my experience anyway. I threw 3 bombs at that gate, but in reality, it really only takes 2 to actually knock it down. So you don't need to, you don't necessarily need to get a whole bunch of bomb rocks in order to take care of things here. And there's also no gate up here to knock down, so we do get to save a little bit of time like that. And one handy thing about Pikmin on Gamecube is that we can get rid of those bomb rocks when we no longer need them. It's small favors in the grand scheme of things. Very small favors. But it's a favor nonetheless. Ah, yes. And this is really all you gotta worry about, at least on the impact site. You just gotta worry about getting all of these pellets back as much as possible. Naturally, there is sort of like an upper limit to how many Pikmin you can technically grow. And that is mainly counting in the fact of getting all of the appropriate pellets to the appropriate onions. I already sort of messed that up because I believe right at the beginning that squad of not squad, but those couple of blue Pikmin at the beginning trying to take care of the potato bug and knock him out. They ended up carrying a red pellet back to their onion. So even if I pulled off a perfect game past that point, I actually wouldn't be able to get a perfect score because I'd be 1 Pikmin short. That being said, again, I'm not too worried about getting the high score on challenge mode right now. I'm mostly just focused on, at the very least, getting on the high score list. Which, again, considering I don't have the best records in Pikmin on Gamecube in general, it's not going to be hard to do, honestly. And there's also the fact that Pikmin on Gamecube does have the more limited control over the, when compared to the Wii version. So you can't throw Pikmin as far, you can't quick swap between Pikmin to make things go faster. Really, if you want to really showcase, like, Pikmin growing skills in challenge mode, the Wii version is definitely the version to go for, I think. Just because you are able to perform tasks much faster. But with enough practice, the GameCube version here, you can still get things done relatively quickly. Like, right now, we're leading our blues back here to try and grab this 20 pellet before time is up. And we also have to use them to try and get some of these other pellets out from the water's range, so our other color Pikmin can take care of them. After all, the blues don't need the red pellet or the yellow pellet, so, you know, we're just moving them for their friends. And, yeah. Now we go over to get this here big 20. And 20s are definitely important. And, generally, on maps that do have enemies, enemies typically will give you a lot more Pikmin than pellets do. Like, when you take into consideration, the different weights and the number of Pikmin that you need to carry them back to the onion. And I end up kind of messing up here because I accidentally grew too many of other Pikmin colors and not enough reds, so I didn't have enough reds to go and grab that 20 pellet, which is kind of embarrassing. Because yes, you can still only have up to 100 Pikmin out on the field at once. Also noticing that, for some reason, 2 of my Pikmin are missing. And they died, somehow, apparently. Oh, and also fire still hurts Olimar. Like, a lot. If you couldn't guess. Yeah, if you lose all of your health in challenge mode, it obviously ends. You can't continue onward. There's no dolphin in challenge mode to heal Olimar either, so you really have to be mindful of that. And now, it's just sort of a mad dash to trying to get these big 20 pellets back as quickly as I possibly can, because I started to run out of time quite a lot. Like, quite a lot. And that red guy can't really get up there to help his friend. Yeah, the countdown is going. Our first challenge mode is almost done, which really showcases that I feel like the times work differently on different maps, because this ended up being really short. Like, really short. I don't know, this whole day Impact Site challenge mode, it feels way shorter than any other Pikmin day. Like, obviously, that was like, what, 10 minutes? In comparison to other Pikmin days during story mode. I don't totally get it. And we do manage to get ourselves the high score of 179 Pikmin. Obviously, that could have gone way better because we did not get the third 20 pellet back, but that's experience for next time, the next time we want to challenge ourselves. And speaking of challenges, that's the end of the first challenge. So, thank you very much for watching. This was a bit of a short one. I hope you don't mind that, because it's just the way it worked out. This is your good friend Sparky signing off for now, though, and I'll catch you later.